welcome to the pod. 2 cents, Josh and Spence. We're your hosts, Josh and
Spence.
All right, here's the deal, people. First of all, thanks for liking and subscribing. Those numbers are...
number update. Should I do a number update quick? Let's do number update.
Hit 'em.
It used to be only 5% of our listeners were subscribed.
Laughable.
We're up to 10%. Let's go!
Woo! Hell yeah. Heck yeah.
So, like and subscribe, okay? 90% of you out there aren't liked or subscribed. Freeloaders. That's not cool.
Hey, we didn't say it. The internet said it. There's a buzz around the internet. So yeah, thank you for the support. Like and subscribe. Hit the noti bell. Here's the deal, people. We talk a lot about, positivity, growth-minded, positive habits, all that stuff.
Self-help, motivation, mindset.
Here's the deal. We're not getting, we strive for all those things, but we're not getting A's in all those things.
We're not robots.
We ain't robots.
We're not machines.
Son. Beep, boop, beep. Can we do the robot on the dance floor?
Yes.
Absolutely. Do I run, do we run on electricity? Nah, dude.
Am I artificial intelligence? No.
Right?
I don't think so.
So we're like, what we should do? Because, like, sometimes, too, doing all these podcasts, like, yeah, do this, start,
You almost kind of get I don't know about you, but like an imposter feeling like I like this stuff, but I also have some guilty pleasures.
Yeah, but, certainly not perfect, not getting A's and all those things. So we're like, what we should do? We should do a little guilty pleasure pod. So we're going to do a little guilty pleasure pod. So we talk a lot about, what you focus on expands, and stand guard at the door of your mind. Only be letting positive, good stuff in there. Make the most use of your time. No wasted hours. Sometimes we waste some hours, dude.
We did this morning.
Oh man. So like the internet that you're on watching this pod, like there's some rabbit holes you can go down. Some potholes you could fall into.
Yes, there is.
So when we were just thinking about there's a bunch of different type of guilty pleasures, so when I think of what is my most guilty pleasure, like I used to be a massive wrestling fan, mid to late 90s, early 2000s. I feel like when I was in probably 6th grade, that was the height of the Attitude Era of the WWF at the time. So your Stone Colds, what? Rock,
what?
Undertaker,
what?
Degeneration X,
what?
Among others. And then before that, there was the Monday Night Wars. So WWF was they'd have their Monday Night Raw, and at the same time, WCW World Championship Wrestling had Monday Nitro. And I would log a lot of hours watching those two things.
So you said this is in the 90s?
This would be the late 90s. So
okay.
I was in the 5th grade in 1998.
Okay.
So I remember going to WCW Nitro at the Fargo Dome when I was in the 4th grade.
Okay.
So it was Goldberg was doing his thing, the NWO. So that's when Hulk Hogan went from the yellow trunks, the yellow and red trunks, to the black trunks. And but now, even so, big fan back then. I used to have this little Hulkster doll and all these little dolls. So I'd wrestle them and beat them up and jump off the couch and elbow drops and stuff. But even now, I'll you scrolling through YouTube and it's the Ultimate Warrior is talking talking trash about Hulk Hogan. I'm like, okay.
The algorithm knows you.
It's let's talk, let's talk about how Stone Cold Steve Austin grew up in Texas. And it's I don't, all these, so that's that is a rabbit hole I'll go down.
So still to this day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So right now, yeah, my TikTok algorithm, my YouTube algorithm, Stone Cold shoots on his heat with Shawn Michaels and the whatever. I'm I would love to know about this. And then too, so Sting, he was the WCW's main guy, and he used to have flashy paint, and he used to have like the half face paint, like a crew cut, blonde hair, whatever. But then he kind of left and then came back. You ever seen the movie The Crow? Of course you haven't, because you're a child.
This is back in the black and white days. This must have
It
been
was
made
in the 1990s.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's black and white days.
Bruce Lee's kid Brandon Lee played this guy who like died and kind of came back to life, and he had like gothic, like had black, long, shaggy hair, white face paint with lines. And so anyway, the Sting came back as this character, and he would like drop from the rafters, and it would like you'd watch like 3 hours of Monday Nitro. And then the last like 4 minutes, he'd come down and Sting would come out and hit everybody with a baseball bat. And I'd just be going ape in the basement, like, Stinger, Stinger, ah, Stinger. So you'd watch 3 hours of TV to get that little, and that was like pre-internet. So you can't, whatever.
So do you watch like WWE now?
No, that's the,
Really?
no.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's almost like too, the older you get, like now, like music doesn't hit you the same. Like it's rare.
It's like a nostalgia thing for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then so too, and that's kind of why it's cool, because like all these guys have like their faces painted and they're playing a character, but then to then hear about them, like their perspective and stuff is kind of cool or whatever. So, but no, I haven't watched even like Pat McAfee's on there and like whatever. Like never watch it now. Not into it at all. But there's something about that. So that's like one guilty pleasure where I'll like look up and be like Oofta. Where am I?
It's been 4 hours.
So that is one just embarrassing, like guilty pleasure rabbit hole I'll go down. What about you?
Mine is if I'm on YouTube and going down a rabbit hole, I find myself a lot of the time in the cops. In the cops episodes.
Oh.
Cops are like Live PD is a new
What
one.
you gonna do?
Yeah.
What you gonna
I don't know what it is about seeing like drunk people trying to fight police officers and losing. I just love it.
Just what brings you back to your
Yeah, or like interrogation videos.
Oh,
those
really?
are sick. Yeah, where they interrogate people and like it's like the shitty camera where you can hardly even see anything, but you read the captions and it's just like you're
so
caught,
like,
man.
The camera's up here,
Yeah, camera's in the
and
corner of
then
the room.
and then they got this face blacked out or whatever, and like
Yep. If I'm that's usually that YouTube knows me as that. So anytime I pull up YouTube, I see a new one or honestly even like I love like you know how nowadays you get pulled over, somebody's pulling out a camera and I got you on camera, officer. What's your badge number? I love watching those, but I love when those people lose.
dude.
Like
so
when they're
funny.
super just like know it all, but then it's like, no, actually, you don't. I don't know what it is about cops, but I love that stuff.
Oofta. That stuff makes me cringe so bad.
Yeah.
Like I can't. Like nope. Like I'm very anti-conflict. So I'm like like scroll past it. Like, but I will say I had one where it's like it was on TikTok and like a guy with a, not to get all political on you here, people, but a guy must have had a Trump shirt on.
Sure.
Sitting in the plane next to not a Trump supporter, we'll say. Like like this is like a young kid, probably like mid-20s, and then like an elderly woman probably voted for Biden in the last election, I would assume, and then her husband, and then it just cuts to her like being kicked off the plane. And just this kid just sitting here like, and there's like, it cuts like there's different camera angles. So like this kid's got his phone like this, but then it cuts to somebody else over here. And then you can hear him like, oh, this girl's freaking out about this, this Trump shirt or whatever.
Yep.
And that was actually the first one that I've ever like watched. Well, anyway, it was just,
I love confrontational videos. Have you ever seen Kanye West interact with paparazzi? This is another guilty pleasure. It is absolutely like he's been in fights with paparazzi. I mean, just does not like them, which is understandable. But yeah, Kanye West he's a fun guy to watch. He's entertaining. I'll say that. I obviously don't agree with a lot of the things, but
he's definitely had the world's attention recently.
Yes.
Those are oofta. Kanye West, huh? I could see myself going down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I
think it comes back to the confrontation thing. He's always in confrontations.
Sure.
Yeah.
or yeah, just a kind of like a socially awkward person too,
Yeah.
or just not
Yep.
interesting. Another guilty pleasure I used to have. I used to be a big like pop culture buff, like back in the day, like Channel 31. Like MTV was Channel 30 and VH1 was Channel 31. So just scrolling through and like what famous celebrities are dating who and who did what, and like that celebrity gossip sort of thing. I used to be pretty into that.
Yeah.
And that is one like I would no longer get into that. Like if that, like that something came, but I remember being a kid and just being, I don't know what it was about it. Probably just wanting to be a famous person, probably or whatever. But now I'll see that in my Nikki will still talk about like, oh, you see what the Kardashian did? And I'm like, no, that no longer does it for me. But that very much for a long, like I logged many hours of my life watching Video Hits 1. And
TMZ.
I would love to get those hours back.
Yeah,
those are some lost hours for sure. Worst things a kid could be doing, I suppose. But man, those were like Justin Timberlake dating Britney Spears, or Brad and Angelina.
Yeah.
Or like behind the music's like how Metallica got started. And how whatever, I don't know. There's something about like I watched the behind the music of Motley Crue probably 100 times.
Okay, that's cool though.
Is it?
I mean,
is it?
Okay, so here's I would say another guilty pleasure of mine. Have you ever seen the show Intervention? I don't know what it is about people struggling with drug addiction, but I love being in the audience and watching. I have for the longest time. I still do. Like, I love Intervention. The reason that reminded me is like Motley Crue, like obviously battled with a lot of that. Like, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like, that's why I think I'm so into them, is watching them battle drug addiction. But I
rooting for and against them and their drug battles. Okay, Anthony Kiedis, look at this. Look at this needle here. You want that in your arm, pal? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is about that too, but like another one that we like, Nikki and I, like if we ever get a chance to like watch a show, want to watch Wives with Knives or what? like what? Like Investigation Discovery, the ID channel, like Wives with Knives, Scorn to Love Kills, like all these, Murder in the Heartland. Yep. What are we doing, dude? Yep. And then like that's the type of stuff you watch, you're like into it, and then at the end you get that feeling like you just ate a bag of potato chips. Like I feel gross now. I feel like it.
But like all this stuff, like I feel like people kind of you need it almost because nobody can just constant like motivation and self-improvement. Like you can't do that constantly. Every now and then you got to fit in a funny fiction movie or something to just kind of get back on track. I don't know. I
agree. And I will say, like, I've kind of like curbed mine now. So I like won't watch like the murder stuff. Like I try not to get into that. But I will watch like Skip and Shannon talking, like Colin Cowherd. What stupid thing does he have to say or whatever, as like if I'm ever eating by myself or whatever, doing that. But another one too, like if you ever need a good laugh, like there's something about news anchor bloopers.
Dude. Yes. Oh, those are the best, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, happy birthday to Hugh Janus. Hugh Janus has a birthday today. And then it's like, whoa.
Oh. Have you seen the one where the guy the pig's name is Chris P. Bacon and he absolutely loses it. That's probably my favorite one. He cannot keep it together. Oh man.
Or the one where they're like doing the grape stomping or whatever and the lady falls. She's like, oh, wait, stop. And then she tries to like stomp more grapes. Then she falls. She's like, ow, ow.
Oh man. That could be a fun podcast, just us watching news anchor.
It's like such a weird throaty. It sounds like she broke her. Or two, there's another one where like this lady, like they're running in Texas when like the snow, like we got some snowfall there, and like she gives this really like kind of pompous like, oh, it's just really low impact on your joints, and oh, it's actually super nice, and then it's like she like trots away.
No, he's losing it. Spit it out, dude.
It's just so good, dude. It's so satisfying. Oh man, but yeah. Happy birthday to Hugh Janus. Oh man. Yeah, something about those. Or there's this other guy. He's like, yeah, the killer, and then like a bug flies in his mouth, and then he just starts cussing. He's like, out here. It's like, whoa. Oh man, but yeah, it's like, and a lot of them they're like reruns of each other, so you can't watch it like two nights in a row.
Oh,
but it's like
I've seen them all.
It's like once or twice a calendar year. Like let's get it.
Let's circle back to this.
Oh man, it's so good.
Dude, old vines.
Yeah, it's just really low impact on your joints. It's actually really good for you. And bam. Oh man.
Yeah, dude. I feel like every now and then you gotta fit something like that in to get a good belly laugh and
get the lead out, man.
Kind of reset.
Yeah.
Can't always do self-improvement and mindset. You gotta fit that stuff in.
Yeah, get a good giggle in there. But yeah, obviously that.
Yep.
That'll do it. But yeah.
I feel like we talk a lot about too, like what you focus on expands. So like, I am always focused on NFL football.
Yes.
This is
something
where I feel like I shouldn't, but then when I do it, I'm like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, which is why I think I like it so much.
I feel though like NFL football, it's like, hey man, I'm out here talking to people. I gotta know what's going on. I gotta know what's going on in the league.
Dude.
Like, what if I'm at a listing appointment?
Talk to a guy and he doesn't know anything about NFL. It's like, oh, I don't know how to conversate with you now.
Yeah, I'm not sure where we take this from here, but yeah, you almost feel like, I'm just doing my market research here. Like, I got to know what's going on. How am I supposed to relate to another human during during the football season if I don't know?
But like, even like, oh man, on a Sunday, I'll sit on my couch from noon to 10 p.m. like, just watching football, and it's my favorite day of the whole week.
That's so good. But there's something about it too, where like obviously watch it, but then like you see something like, oh, I can't wait to hear what Skip and Shannon have to say about this.
Yeah, dude.
You know,
hearing other people have takes on it. Yeah, why is that? Why can't I just form my own opinion about it?
I don't know. I'm like, I can't wait to see what I think about this tomorrow. But yeah, that's a good thing. I like that a lot. Yeah, all just sports. Yeah. Anything sports, even like the Last Dance documentary.
Yeah.
Like that's good. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Like I gotta know this.
But like even like like you said, listening to other people's take on it, like podcast, Pat McAfee. Absolutely obsessed with that show. I feel like I'm in that show.
I hate how much
I've started to talk like them.
Yeah.
Sorry about it.
Shout out.
But yeah, like it's like what you focus on expands. So you start listening to, Ed Milet podcast in the car. Well, then you're thinking about that. Well, every now and then it's like, I'm going to be a little bit bad today. I'm going to put on Pat McAfee on the way to work.
It's like, hey, Ed Milet, why don't you cool it? Because I'm pretty curious what Pat thinks about the Vikings game last night. So I want to hear Pat McAfee talk about 5 chains right now, Yeah, it's one of those things like you gotta like. So yeah, I thought that would be like make for a cool pod because like like hey, just a guy that freaking loves wrestling. I'm just a guy that loves professional wrestling. That loved professional wrestling, and like another one's like.
It's weird to me that you don't like WWE now.
Does nothing for me. Is there something
other than like you're saying they had like masks and just different characters. What?
I don't know. I think it was
Let
something
me in
about,
that brain of yours.
I don't know. But also like another guilty pleasure, like, oh, Bloodsport came on TV, which is an old.
Back in the black and white days, must be, or
You guys.
oh, Dustin doesn't even know. He's super old too.
The guy's name's Jean-Claude Van Damme, okay? And he's
Sounds like a painter.
yeah, he painted walls with people's blood from roundhouse kicking them in the face. Yeah. But like so he had like so if one of his movies comes on, like yeah. Basically if there's like a buff shirtless dude on TV, which could be getting into a whole other realm.
Oh no.
We want to dive
We
a
should
little bit
end this
deeper.
podcast.
Or even like yeah, so if like yeah, like some Van Damme stuff comes on, or like
Did you just black out? Josh just blacked out.
I was a big Matthew McConaughey fan in the early 2000s as well.
All right.
All right. I don't know what it was. Something about wrestling. Something about good versus evil. And
Sure.
just settling it with your fists out there, you know?
Well, pretending to.
Yeah. Settling it with your fake fists out there in your underwear with big boots on and knee
Something
pads.
about it. Something about it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. But now it's like, so watching it now, like the curtains pulled back. So like, whatever happened to Buff Bagwell? You know what I mean? Like, where did that guy go? You know what I mean? Like,
Oh man.
what happened to Rey Mysterio?
I
You
just
know?
imagine you like in your basement in the dark with like a wrestling mask on, and you've got your iPad, and you're just like, yes, Rey Mysterio.
just doing push-ups like Stinger.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know what it is, man.
that's awesome.
I guess I don't want to get too much further into it.
That's probably for the best.
Not confident with what we're gonna find in
Yeah.
there, but yeah, I don't know, something about that. I just found that the other. I'm like, and now it's you see it, and it's kind of funny, but it'll still pop up like some. But there's something about it, like you're a kid, and then there's always mystery around it. Like the Ultimate Warrior was like my favorite wrestler because he was like the most jacked.
Yeah.
But he was super colorful and like a cartoon character, like a larger than life thing, but he never really talked or said anything coherently. And two, like back in the day, it was like seeing a shooting star, you know, like the program was like 3 hours long, but what you actually wanted to see was like 3 minutes of him on there. So then to hear like a sit down interview with him, and I don't know, it's just something about it. I don't know.
I just thought of another one that I love on YouTube. Have you ever seen Wipeout? You've seen that, right? You've never seen Wipeout?
No,
The game show where are you lying?
I don't think so.
Dustin, help me out. What's the Japanese version of that?
Oh, God.
Do you know the name of it?
I'll find it.
He'll find it. We'll get back to it. Okay. But Wipeout basically is his TV show where you like you've seen Ultimate Warrior, it sounds like, where it's like the obstacle course.
Ultimate Warrior is a wrestler.
I'm not sure. Are you talking about most?
Ninja Warrior.
Ninja Warrior.
So that one,
Got
but
it.
Wipeout is similar, but it's like normal people, not super jacked people. But they try to make it through this course, but there's obstacles that come and like
And then they get
just smoke
smoked
them in the
alive.
face.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
but there's a Japanese version
Are
which
you
is
talking about
absolute.
Most extreme elimination challenge.
Yes, dude. Most extreme elimination challenge. YouTube that. Like they speak in Japanese, so they put like what?
The English dub over the top of it.
Yes, they do an English.
Fun.
All right. Well, anything else, man? This was a fun episode.
Dude, when that girl falls down, that's so good. Just,
Yeah.
it's like you little pompous,
Yeah.
arrogant runner.
My wife loves when people fall. She loses it.
It's something about it, man. Yeah, I don't know. I've had something else popped into my brain, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
Josh blacked out. Good time to wrap it up.
hey,
Thanks
yeah,
for
guilty
listening.
pleasure. Hey, don't you know? Can't be on all the time.
That's right.
Indulge yourself. Indulge yourself a little guilty pleasure. Okay?
Yeah, maybe while you're doing it, subscribe. I mean, there's 90% of you out there. Might as well. I don't know.
There's a noti bell that's not getting smashed right now.
There's a like button that's unclicked.
Click it or ticket. You know what I mean?
All right.
Woo!
Watch for dare.
Shake a bug. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like that, I know you're going to like this one right here. Like, subscribe, do all the things. Watch for deer and shake a bug.